Alright, before we begin decreasing, I went ahead and weaved in all the ends that I won't need anymore. I still kept some of these orange ones from this B and the orange ones from the S because I'm going to need those to fill in the gaps to connect the letters. But all the rest of them that I won't need anymore, I went ahead and weaved in. So now it's much cleaner, easier to see, and that's a lot less work that I have to do later. This is what it looks like from the right side. This is the start of an I over here on the left, I-B-E-S, and that's an L, and to the left of that is the beginning of the second L. We're going to start decreasing now. We will no longer begin any row with a chain 6. We are done increasing because we are now at 16 inches by 16 inches. So to decrease, first off, we're going to start with 8 cream boxes. So we're going to stay in this cream box, or in this cream color. To decrease, we're going to chain 1 and turn. And you're going to do this every single time you're decreasing. Here for this box, we have the first double crochet is right here underneath your loop, second double crochet, third double crochet, and then we have the beginning chain 2, which counts as a double crochet. We're going to slip stitch across that. So we just chained 1 and we turned. We're going to skip that first double crochet and slip stitch into the next one, into the third one, and into the top chain of that beginning chain from that last stitch. And now we're ready to start. This is going to be the that's the top edge of this square. We're going to chain 2 because the chain 2 is equal to a double crochet, and work our 3 double crochets into that space. Slip stitch to the next box, and that's our first box of row 22. And if this looks a little weird here on the edge, it's okay, because we're going to put a final edging on the entire square and it'll cover that up. I'm going to continue working 7 more cream boxes. Alrighty, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cream boxes. The next one is going to be 1 orange box. Before I slip stitch that, I'm just going to pull up a little loop here. The first or the last L of the top word is complete, and I can tell because I've just worked a cream over it. So I'm going to go ahead and trim off that orange because I don't need it anymore. And then you also saw that I ran out of yarn back here, the cream color, and I had to reattach it. And as I went through my options, they were all strands that I had already cut, so I went ahead and pulled from the middle here, which was attached to the skein. Alright, so I did my 8 cream boxes, 1 orange box. The next one is going to be 4 cream boxes. I don't know if you can hear those squeaking sounds whenever I work the yarn. Can you hear it? If your yarn is doing that, it just means the yarn is warm, because this is a synthetic yarn. It's made basically from plastic, and when it warms up, it squeaks together. That's all. The next is going to be 1 orange box. And I'm going to finish it with 6 cream boxes. And so my cream box, my cream yarn is down here, which is a couple boxes over. 1 box basically. I'm gonna bring it up and carry it just like I did before, because it's only really 1 box right here. So the first thing I'm going to do is just bring it over into the stitch where I need it. And then I'm going to tug on it a little bit so that it's looser, so that I have enough to pull it up here where I'm going to slip stitch it, and enough slack here to work over it so it's not bunched up. So it's not too tight. Otherwise it can affect the stretch and the look. Since we're no longer increasing, I'm not going to work an extra box on the edge. This sixth box right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this sixth box is the new edge of the left side of this square. So for this row, we worked 8 cream boxes, then an orange box, 4 cream boxes, an orange box, and then we finished it off with 6 cream boxes. And in the beginning, we slip stitched over to create this edge, and in the end, we also finished on an edge. And that's how it's going to continue. We're just going to decrease each row by 1 square, finishing and starting with the edge. And eventually we're going to get down to just 1 square on the top, just like we started with. For row 23, we're going to start with 6 cream boxes. And we're going to begin it the same way. I'm going to show you one more time how to start with the decrease. We're going to chain 1 and turn. Slip stitch into the second double crochet. Skip that first one, slip stitch into the second double crochet. Slip stitch into the third, and slip stitch into the top chain of the next stitch. And I chain 1 in the beginning even though I'm slip stitching over, because I'm skipping that first stitch and I need that give. I need that give to work into the second stitch and for it to lay flat. Chain 2 and work 3 double crochets into that first space. And that's what it looks like. It looks a little wonky until you straighten it out. Just tug on it with your fingers and it'll have that edge on it. And I'm going to continue working 5 more cream boxes to have a total of 6 here. Next is going to be 2 orange boxes. The part that I trimmed off down here was actually just a small piece of yarn, so now I have to reattach a new piece here in the middle, which is fine because I'm going to need some, well, I guess I'm also going to reattach one here. Anyways, I'm just going to reattach a small piece that I have that I cut off previously. This is just one that I trimmed off earlier, not one from the skein, because I think I'm going to do one cream here, and when I work this one, I'm just going to carry it up. The next one is going to be an orange box. And I'm going to need this orange from that L to go upwards, so I'm going to trim off, and from one of these letters, I'm going to do this I because it's coming from the center of the skein. I'm going to trim that off. And reattach it here. And this orange that I'm attaching now is going to be for the next letter on the top, so I'm going to continue working with it after this. And the next box is going to be cream. So right now I have the cream from the original boxes at the beginning of the row. I have the cream that I just attached 2 boxes previous, which will actually continue maybe 2 boxes up. That's going to be the center of this letter A. And then I need to attach another cream yarn here for my next box, which is going to be in between the L and the A. So I'm going to pull the end boxes, I'm going to pull the yarn from there. Pull a long strand and cut it. And I chose this one instead of the initial one because this one is coming from the center pull of the ball of the skein, which is easier to work with. And I'm going to work just one cream box here. And then one orange box. And then I'm going to finish this row off with 7 cream boxes. And that row is done. What a busy row. So that was row 23, which is 6 cream boxes, 2 orange boxes, 1 cream box, 1 orange box, 1 cream box, 1 orange box, and 7 cream boxes. Row 24 is going to be 6 cream boxes to begin with. And I'm out of yarn already on this side that I had trimmed down here. That's why I don't like to cut from the beginning or the end, because you run out of yarn too fast because you need it quickly. So I'm just going to trim from the yarn I attached before. Next one is going to be 1 orange box. Then 1 cream box. And then 1 orange box. And then 2 cream boxes. And then 2 orange boxes. So I'm just looking at this orange. This box that I just, I'm about to slip stitch to, that's the corner of the eye, and that's where the yarn finished from the previous row. So you can see it's behind where I need to grab. I'm just going to run it up. I'm just going to pull it up over. Loosely. If you pull too tight, this hole's going to be really big right here. You don't want to do that. So just make sure it's loose. That's not right, is it? Taking this out. It is 2 creams, 1 orange. Then 2 creams. And now 2 orange boxes. That'll be the bottom of the V. And I'm gonna have to pull an orange from somewhere. Let me see which letter's almost done. This L on the top, that's where I'm gonna try to pull it from. And now I need to finish it off with 2 cream boxes. So I'm going to have to pull cream from somewhere else again. And so I'm looking at my piece. This yarn has to be pulled upwards. This yarn has to be pulled upwards. This yarn also. So really it doesn't matter where I pull it from. I know this one over here I trimmed, so I can't pull it from there. So I'm just going to have to do it from either the top or this previous one. I'm going to do this previous one. Usually I like to pull from the center of the ball if I can, but I pulled from this one instead because it is going to need a lot less boxes to work this area than if I pulled it from the top again. And that is row 24. We started here with 6 cream boxes. Then we worked 1 orange box, 1 cream box, 1 orange box, 2 cream boxes, 1 orange box, 2 cream boxes, 2 orange boxes, and 2 cream boxes. Row 25 is going to be 3 cream boxes to begin. Then we're going to have one orange box. And the orange that I attached in the previous row is below me. So actually what I should do, this is where I'll have just the one float and I'll be okay with it. I'm going to take this last cream box out. I'm going to pull this orange up. So when I slip stitch, it's going to be on my hook. And I'll pull it over like I did before. And I'm just going to stop and check before I continue, because I know I'm going to need another orange. What we're looking at here is the backside of the letter V, and I know that I'm going to need an orange over here on the right. So let me see how I'm going to join it from the next one. I would slip stitch here, slip stitch here, and this is where it would be to pick up. And then my next box here would be orange. So it's actually going to work out better for me if I just leave it and reattach another yarn here. I know I already did it. I hope that doesn't affect you very much. Sorry. But I know I'm going to need that here, and it'll be so easy to just move it from here to here, and it'll be across just that chain instead of across the back of that whole square. So I'm actually going to find another tail that I can use for this next orange box. This eye's almost done. Let me just make sure I'm working from the skein, and I'm not. So I'll go to my next option. This L, I believe I also cut. Yep. So my options are the A on the top and the V that I'm working from. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim from where I am. Sorry for the confusion, for having to rip out a couple boxes, but I like to always double check what I'm doing before I get too far, because it's a lot easier to just frog one box instead of frogging a bunch of boxes. Or maybe not frogging, but having the best look that I can right now just by making this simple change, as opposed to having that big float, just a little float over here. So here I have 3 cream boxes, the next one is 1 orange box. And before I get too far, I just want to clarify that the reason why I didn't do it in previous rows is because I would have had several floats up the row. And that's why I didn't want to do it there, and I fastened off the yarn. Here, if I would have just had that one float and started this box, I would have continued to use the same yarn going upwards until I finished this leg, this side of the V. So it wouldn't have traveled very far. It would have still been functional, and I still would have had to attach a yarn on the other side for the V. So if you wanted to continue that way, you could. Either way, you're going to have to attach a yarn somewhere. The next box is going to be cream. The next box will be orange. The next box is cream. Before I slip stitch that, I just finished the eye. I'm going to fasten that off. The next box is going to be orange. And I'm going to have to get orange from somewhere to attach it here. So I have a lot of strands that I cut longer of the orange that's over here that I fastened off. So I'm going to grab one of those so I don't have to cut from my skein and just use one until I run out. I'm trying to see which one is the longest one so I can go the furthest with it. Then the next box is going to be cream. Nope, I thought I had a strand there, but I actually don't. So I need to attach, just checking again because I really thought I had one, but I guess I don't because it's over here. So I'm going to have to attach a cream color there. And I don't have any strands that I cut, so I'm going to have to fasten off from somewhere and reattach. At this point, I really don't think that it matters because I'm gonna have to, at some point here, I'm going to come together. Like all this is going to be cream right here. So I want to keep that one. This one I can fasten off actually. This one down here in between the V and the I. Because as I'm looking at it, the next one that I come across, it's gonna be a cream here, a cream on top of that orange, and a cream next to the orange. So I can go ahead and fasten that off right there. And I'm just doing this visually, like in my head I can see that that's the A, that's the line of cream that's in between. There's going to be another letter over here, but I can see that this line is going to be cream up until right here, where that's going to be orange. You can also look at your chart and see where the letter placement is going to be. The next one is orange, one orange. The next one is going to be cream. The next one will be orange. And then I'm going to finish this off with 5 cream boxes. And for row 25, we had 3 cream boxes in the beginning, 1 orange box, 1 cream box, 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 1 orange box, and 5 cream boxes. It was another busy row, but at least it was mostly set up from previous rows. To begin row 26, we're going to start with 6 cream boxes. Before I join that, I'm going to go ahead and fasten off this orange because that letter L is done. The next box is going to be, well, the next 3 boxes will be orange. The next 3 will be cream. Look at that, I just won at Yarn Chicken! Woo! Before I continue with that, this bottom left orange box from the letter A has a tail on it. I'm going to go ahead and trim that off since I don't need it anymore. The next box is going to be orange. The next box will be cream. The next box will be orange. And this is where we were in the previous row where I thought I wanted to carry up that orange yarn, but then I changed my mind. So when I join this next box, it's literally right next to where I need to pick it up at. And before I finish it off, I'm just going to show you from the right side, this is where we are. But from the wrong side, look, you can't even see that I pulled that yarn over. And I'm just going to finish this off with one cream box, which I don't have here, so I'm going to have to attach it from somewhere. Just going back to the letter A. I finished that one, so I can trim that. And if this is coming from the yarn ball, I might use this. Which it's not, but it's fairly long, so I'm going to go ahead and just attach it for now. Eventually, this is the one we're going to continue working with at some point because it's on the edge. But for now, it's fine. And that's row 26. We started with 6 cream boxes, then 3 orange boxes, 3 cream boxes, 1 orange box, 1 cream box, 1 orange box, 1 cream box. And before I started this row, I went ahead and weaved in my ends again. But I did not realize that when I weaved this initial box of that V in that I was going to need it to connect these boxes. So if you haven't weaved in your ends yet, just save that one tail, because now I'm going to have to weave in and reattach a new orange there later, but not a big deal. It's looking good so far. We have half of a V, and we have IBS. We have half of an A and 2 L's, so I'm happy to see it coming together. Row 27 is going to start with 1 cream box. Then we have 1 orange box. Then we have 1 cream box. And 1 orange box. And I have 3 cream boxes. And this is the one that I said I won at Yarn Chicken, so I'm going to have to attach a new cream there. This one right here in the middle of the V, that one's about to finish. I think it might just need 1 or 2 more boxes. Let's see. That's the 5th one, so it's actually just 1 more box there, so I don't even need to cut that much yarn. And then I can take that from the ball. Then we have 1 orange box. To finish off this row, I need 7 cream boxes. That's going to include the cream box that's in the center of the A and then the rest of the boxes. The tail that I have is 2 boxes over, which is really too much to pull it, so I'm going to fasten that off and reattach it. Row 27 is 1 cream box, 1 orange box, 1 cream box, 1 orange box, then 3 cream boxes, 1 orange box, and 7 cream boxes. Row 28 is going to start with 5 cream boxes. We have 2 orange boxes next. And I think the orange is down here 2 boxes, so I'm going to go ahead and fasten that off and reattach it. And now you can see this gap here for the letter A. We're going to connect that later when we connect the rest of them. So if you end up weaving in your ends, just keep that tail by the A. Just keep that one there for later. Next we have 5 cream boxes. I'm gonna go ahead and trim off this orange from the top of the V I no longer need. Also, I think I can trim, yeah, the next box is orange, so I'm going to trim the center of the V, which is cream right now. And as I trim these, I'm taking my jumbled up yarn mess and I'm just taking them out. And then it's much easier to work with and I'm not getting frustrated. Our next box is 1 orange. And then 1 cream. So for row 28 we had 5 cream boxes, then 2 orange boxes, then we had 5 more cream boxes, then one orange box, and then one cream box. The V's almost done, one more orange box, and then we still need to do the F that's over here on the top. So that A is done. Now that I'm looking at it, oh, I already trimmed it. Row 29 is going to start with one cream box. Next is one orange box. I'm going to trim that orange now that I'm done. Next is one cream box. Next is one orange box. That's going to be the bottom box of the letter F. I'm just seeing where this is attached to my center pole, this orange, so I don't need it anymore for that A. I'm going to trim it off. That's the easier one to work with. I'm going to finish this row out by working 9 cream boxes. And I don't have a cream here where I'm working at. I'm going to need the one that I just finished working to go upwards here to fill in the space. I may need this one on the edge. Actually, it's a tail end, so that doesn't matter. Let me find my other end here. Alright, so I'm finishing out this row from here to the end with cream. So this one that's over here above the A, I'm not going to need that one. I'm going to trim that one and use that. Row 29 is a real easy one. We have 1 cream, 1 orange, 1 cream, 1 orange, and 9 cream boxes.